The Sinaloa Cartel is one of the most powerful and enduring drug trafficking organizations in the world. Here's a detailed breakdown of its history, strength, activities, and sources of power. Back history, origins. The cartel originated in the Mexican state of Sinaloa in the late 1980s. It emerged from the Guadalajara cartel after the arrest of Miguel Angel Felix Gallardo in 1989. Former lieutenants, including Joaquin El Chapo Guzmán, Ismael El Mayo Zambada, and Hector Luis Palma Salazar, splintered off and helped form the Sinaloa Cartel. Expansion and dominance. Throughout the 1990s and 2000s, the cartel expanded across Mexico and into the U.S., Central America, and beyond. El Chapo's escape from prison in 2001 marked the beginning of a powerful resurgence and aggressive expansion. The cartel engaged in brutal conflicts with rival organizations like the Tijuana Cartel, Los Zetas, and Beltran Leyva organization. Leadership changes. El Chapo was captured in 2014, escaped in and recaptured in 2016. He was extradited to the U.S. in 2017 and sentenced to life in 2019. Today, the cartel is believed to be led by Ismael El Mayo Zambada and El Chapo's sons, known as Los Chapitos. Strength and structure. Organizational structure. The Sinaloa Cartel operates as a federation of semi-independent cells. This decentralized structure makes it resilient to leadership losses and law enforcement pressure. Territory. The cartel controls territories in Sinaloa, Durango, Chihuahua, Sonora, and Baja California, among others. Internationally, it has networks in the United States, Europe, Asia, and Australia. Manpower and firepower. The cartel is estimated to have thousands of members and affiliates, including foot soldiers, enforcers, chemists, transporters, and money launderers. It has access to military-grade weapons and maintains elite enforcement groups like Los Antrax. Criminal activities. Drug trafficking. The core activity is drug production and trafficking, especially methamphetamine, fentanyl, cocaine, heroin M, marijuana, other activities. Money laundering via shell companies, real estate, and cryptocurrency. Human trafficking. And smuggling includes smuggling migrants across the U.S. border. Illegal mining in areas like Durango and Michoacán. Extortion and kidnapping in regions they control. Sources of power and influence. Corruption. The cartel uses bribery and intimidation to infiltrate and manipulate law enforcement, military and political systems, innovation and technology. Known for building sophisticated tunnels under the US-Mexico border. Use of drones, encrypted communication, and dark web markets. Strategic alliances. Forms temporary or long-term pacts with other groups, including local gangs in the U.S., Central American cartels, and even international criminal networks. Public relations. In some areas, the cartel engages in narco-philanthropy, providing food, jobs, and money to gain local support. Current situation. Despite leadership losses, the cartel remains highly active and powerful. Los Chapitos, especially Ivan Archivaldo and Jesus Alfredo Guzman, are heavily involved in fentanyl trafficking to the U.S. El Mayo Zambada, elusive and unarrested, is considered a master strategist, keeping the network running. Current dynamics. 2020s present. Fragmentation and internal struggles. After El Chapo's extradition, internal divisions have surfaced between Los Chapitos and El Mayo Zambada. These rifts have led to localized turf wars within the cartel, though open conflict between factions is often avoided to preserve the cartel's strength. Focus on fentanyl. The cartel has increasingly prioritized fentanyl production and smuggling due to its potency, profitability, and ease of transport. Labs are often set up in rural areas in Sinaloa, with precursor chemicals sourced from China and India. International reach. The cartel remains deeply entrenched in U.S. cities, Los Angeles, Phoenix, Chicago, Atlanta, New York, Europe, Spain, Netherlands, UK, mainly for cocaine and synthetic. Drugs, Asia and Australia, emerging markets for methamphetamine and synthetic opioids. Rivalries and violence, major rivals, CJNG, Cartel de Jalisco Nueva Generación, is the Sinaloa Cartel's most significant competitor. CJNG is highly militarized and aggressively expanding. Other conflicts involve remnants of the Beltran Leyva organization, La Línea, and regional offshoots. Brutality and cartel warfare, battles over territory, especially near the US border. Sonora, Baja California, have led to massacres, disappearances, and roadblocks. The cartel also uses propaganda videos, narco-mantas, banner messages, and social media threats to intimidate rivals and authorities. U.S. involvement in countermeasures law. Enforcement operations, the U.S. DEA, FBI, and Homeland Security have made dozens of high-profile arrests and seizures linked to the cartel. Operations like Project Python have disrupted logistics and financial cells in the U.S. sanctions and bounties. The U.S. has sanctioned members under the Kingpin Act, freezing assets and offering multi-million-dollar rewards for capture of figures like Ivan Guzmán Salazar. Fentanyl crisis response. Due to the opioid epidemic, the Sinaloa Cartel is a major focus of U.S. federal efforts, especially in relation to fentanyl overdoses, which kill tens of thousands annually. Societal and political impact in Mexico. Cartel control in rural areas often exceeds that of the government. Politicians, police, and journalists are frequently targeted or bribed. Local populations may rely on cartel support for jobs, healthcare, and protection, blurring lines between fear and loyalty. Globally, the cartel contributes to violence in Central America, drug epidemics in North America, and underground economies worldwide. Environmental impact, large-scale deforestation, illegal logging, and pollution from meth labs and mining have devastated some regions under their Consero summary outlook influence. The Sinaloa Cartel remains the most powerful and sophisticated criminal syndicate in the Western Hemisphere. Its longevity, adaptability, and massive reach set it apart from rival groups. Outlook. It will likely remain dominant in the drug trade due to its deep-rooted smuggling routes, transnational alliances, business-like organization. However, growing internal tension, pressure from CNG, and international law enforcement could slowly reshape its structure or lead to fragmentation. Leadership structure. Despite its decentralized approach, the Sinaloa Cartel has a clear hierarchy. Top leadership Ismael El Mayo Zambada, the most senior figure with over 40 years in the business, never arrested, operates more discreetly and strategically. Los Chapitos, Ivan Archivaldo Guzmán, Salazar Jesus, Alfredo Guzmán, Salazar Ovidio, Guzmán López, captured in 2023 after a deadly clash in Culiacán, dubbed Culiacanazo 2.0. These factions coexist, but with occasional power struggles over regions and revenues. Middle management regional plaza bosses control specific areas, e.g. border cities or production zones. Logistics coordinators manage transport, bribery, and secure routes. Foot soldiers enforcers like Los Antrax, formerly active under El Chapo, Los Ninis, and various regional gangs act as security, assassins, and local enforcers. Financial operations. The Sinaloa Cartel runs like a multinational corporation with diversified revenue streams. Primary revenue sources: drug sales, primary, fentanyl, meth, cocaine, heroin, marijuana. Human smuggling operations along the US-Mexico border. Illegal mining, especially in gold and iron. Fuel theft, huachicol, from Mexican pipelines. Weapons trafficking and car theft in some regions. Money laundering. Techniques used of shell companies, especially in construction, real estate, and agriculture. Cash smuggling and bulk transport via hidden compartments. Use of digital currencies, shell donations, and fake invoices. Trade-based laundering, e.g., over or under invoicing of exports, imports, The cartel launders billions annually, making it one of the most profitable criminal enterprises in history. Communication and operational tactics. The Sinaloa Cartel stays ahead of law enforcement through secure communication use of custom encrypted phones, especially with modified Blackberries, and later, apps like Signal and Threema. Frequent code language and nicknames for members, drugs, and locations. Avoidance of digital tracking. Orders are often relayed in person or through trusted couriers. Intelligence network bribes to police. And military give them early warning of raids or investigations. Infiltration of state institutions, e.g., local politicians or customs officers. Use of drones and scouts, halcones, to monitor roads and military movements. Notable events and legacy impact. Notable events: 2001, El Chapo escapes Puente Grande prison in a laundry cart, begins rebuilding. The cartel's dominance, 2012. Cartel wars explode in Mexico under President Calderon's war on drugs. 2014-2016, El Chapo captured, escaped again, and finally recaptured and extradited. 2023, Ovidio Guzmán recaptured, leads to large-scale violence in Culiacan. Legacy. The cartel transformed from a rural drug gang to a global enterprise. Its leaders, particularly El Chapo, became notorious pop culture icons, romanticized in music, narco-corridos, and shows like Narcos, Mexico. The cartel's operations expose deep-rooted corruption in Mexico's justice and political systems. Conclusion. The Sinaloa Cartel is not just a criminal group. It's a transnational, multi-billion-dollar empire with influence across continents, ties to political and economic systems, and a legacy of both fear and fascination. Its adaptability ensures its survival, even amid rising pressure from the US, Mexican military operations, and emerging rivals like CJNG.